Okay, we're here at the Indira Moore Institute, and we have on display here some images from the Pyramids of America, display here. With some signage here, and we have a lot of images here going over the fact that in America, long before so-called Native Americans, you had people and civilizations and cultures here who built huge cities, okay? Now, people say, they call them Indian mounds. I tell people they're pyramids. And why I call them pyramids? Because that's what they are. They're actually pyramids. And the word pyramid, actually comes from two Latin terms. One is pyra, meaning fire, and mid means center. And all pyramids are dynamos. They are dynamos. They are actual engines, and they have fire in the middle. All pyramids generate fire in the middle. It's a kind of a scientific phenomenon. But you have a pyramid, you have a mound built up in your own yard, it's going to heat up in the middle every time. You just make just a mound full of refuge, compost, garbage. Go to a garbage heap. You'll find bulldozers flipping over the garbage because it will catch on fire if you don't flip it over, okay? So we have pyramids here, and all of America have earthen pyramids, and some of the oldest pyramids in the world you'll find in Louisiana, okay? Here you have a picture of something called the Black Warrior River Pyramid here, down in Alabama, okay? Why is it called the Black Warrior River? Because it's along a river called the Black Warrior River. Why is it called the Black Warrior River? Because it's named for a chief named Tuscaloosa, who was a 7-foot-tall giant, and they were fighting with DeSoto. So you have the story of DeSoto being the first European, Spanish person to come into North America. Not Columbus, but DeSoto, who first landed in Florida near Tampa, where he first encountered the first mound building people down there in Florida. And he went throughout the southeast, Florida, Georgia, the Carolinas, Alabama, Arkansas, Mississippi, where he ended up in Louisiana at the site of the most ancient of mound builders. When they say, take me to your leader, DeSoto came into Florida and they led him to a leader here in the Washitaw, where he was quickly disposed of and he died right here in the Washitaw, trying to find the leader of the indigenous people in America. Not the Indians, but the indigenous mound building cultures in America, that were actually led by female women, okay? So here you also have evidence of more mound builders, but here you also have evidence of the people that were found in the mounds. In many mounds you find relics of metal, pottery, ceramics, but you also found skeletons of people. In some of those mounds, they found actual sarcophagus, like you find in the Egyptian pyramids, okay? And that's all over the world. So here you have evidence of indigenous people and mound building cultures. Here, not only you have them in North America, you also have them in Mexico. So people in Mexico, we hear about the Aztecs, we hear about the Toltecs, but we also hear about people called the Olmecs here. So here you have a picture of an Olmec head here. And the Olmec heads are the priest class that was found in Mexico, but the name Olmec is not the original true name of the people. Nobody this time and place calls them Olmecs. The Olmecs are called the Chi people, or the Che people, or the She people, okay? And Chi is spelled X-I, like we have here, the Chi people. If you look at American, so-called American, Native American names, most Native American tribes have some kind of Chi, Che, or Cho in their name. We have here Chi, Chickasaw, Choctaw, whatever. When you find these names with Chi in them, that goes back to the indigenous people. So Olmec is not a real name. The word Olmec actually came from a museum curator in New York City who came to the word Olmec to describe, in the late 1920s, describe the artwork they found in Mexico. That's not the name of the people. They talk about rubber tree people. The original name of the indigenous people in Mexico, who they call Olmec, or Toltec, or Mayan, or Aztec, or Inca, or the real name is the Chi people. Any tribe in so-called North America, any so-called Indians, so-called Native Americans, indigenous people, the original name of indigenous people in the Americas is the Chi people. So you'll find it all over the place. And you can see it even in Chicago with the Chimunga people. And all around the world you'll find the syllable Chi. China. Okay, China? China comes from the same as Chi people, okay? First you have the word Mu. If you go to the Nile Valley, at the foothill of the Mountain of the Moon, Mount Motapa, you'll find the Mau people. You'll find many rivers, cities, regions of the Nile Valley in Kenya, Tanzania with the word Mu or or myrrh in there because those are some of the original words for the planet. So the original name for the planet was Mu. And you'll find that throughout the language. All the Latin languages use the word Mu in some form of the word for the word the world or the earth. So we say in Spanish the word mundo, telemundo, or el mundo, that's the world, okay? Latin, Spanish, Italian, French, you'll find the word mu as part of the word for the world, okay? Or territory, okay? Here you have more images out here of indigenous people. Here, indigenous people in what they call Arizona, okay? In Arizona, you have not only ancient mounds. Here they had ball-shaped mounds and round mounds and circular mounds here. They also built giant houses. Here you have in a place called Casa Grande between Tucson and Arizona. There's an ancient site there where they have a giant house there, a building built there, as well as several ancient mound fields there. So in Arizona you have the mound builders, right? One of the most famous mounds in the United States is known as Poverty Point. That is the white settler's name for it. The real name is Olmeca. So here you have Olmeca over here. So Olmeca is actually called Poverty Point, okay? The Great Bird Mound. So the real name, the just name for the bird mound is Olmeca, okay? And here at Olmeca you'll find evidence of the first recognized city in the Americas. Poverty Point, when it was first discovered, was called the original permanent civilized area in America. The first record of civilization. Even though today we know that Poverty Point is not the oldest place you find civilization, it's the first recognized. And in the past 10 years, the United Nations recognized it as a World Heritage Site. It was in 2014, it finally gained its international recognition as a record of ancient existence of humans, okay? So Poverty Point is world renowned as being one of the sites where you find the oldest record of civilization. You don't find a couple of arrowheads there, some hunter-gatherers. You find evidence of civilization, a city that housed thousands of people. And not only does it house thousands of people, at what they call Poverty Point, Olmeca, the bird mound, you have evidence of visitors from all over the continent. You find evidence of copper coming from Upper Peninsula, Michigan. You find different stones, the minerals coming from Colorado. You find shells from the Gulf Coast and things from South Carolina and North Carolina and Florida. You'll find in Olmeca evidence of artifacts that can be traced back to the whole continent. It shows that Olmeca was almost like a site of pilgrimage for people from all over the country. Not only Olmeca being the oldest site, there are other sites around the United States. In Oklahoma, you have Spiral Mound. Spiral Mound is the same evidence of visitors from around the country coming there. You have the Parkins Mound in Arkansas. You have what they call Moundville, or the Blackwater River Mound in Alabama. All these ancient sites, you have Etowah in Georgia. These sites were cultural centers where people from all over the country would gather regionally. And you had evidence of very high society, very well organized social order. We had evidence of very serious civil engineering and designing of the sites. So you have all over America, before the invention of any so-called Columbus Indians, any Europeans migrating over here, exploring or invading, or any Africans being imported here, you have evidence of civilizations of people who built huge cities. So over here, a map here, we call this map here Pimp's American map right here. And on this map here, you can see evidence of some of the ancient sites all over the United States. All these are cities all over the United States that have existed long before any so-called Indians. Before any so-called invaders came, you have evidence of cities. So anyone can go and look at these sites, they still exist today. You can find a record of them, of ancient civilization in America before the invention of the first European, or the word Europe. You have people in America building. Up here, up in Canada, and in what's called Minnesota today, evidence of 9,000-year-old civilization, okay? Over in California, you have evidence in San Diego, evidence of 90,000-year-old tools used by human beings in California. You have the Washitaw here, and in New Mexico you have the Washitaw there, spelled a different way. You find Washitaw spelled several ways. You have Washitaw, Wichita, spelled the French way, the English way. There are several different derivatives of the word Washitaw, but you always find evidence of the ancient people in America with names that can be linked together. The name Mu, the really syllables, Chi, Mu, Mur, Wa, Cha, She, all of the terms that you can trace back to link this fragmented puzzle of our story. His story says one thing about us, but our story is unique, and it's up to us to put it together, okay? So, a little more evidence over here. Now, we have pyramids all over the United States. We have the Special Pyramid on Mecca, one of the oldest sites they have there. You and I spoke briefly about Montesano, which is even an older mound. Actually, I showed you earlier, we can look at it again later, the evidence from the state issued study that says that the mounds near Baton Rouge, Montesano Bayou, are the oldest mounds in the United States. And under those mounds, they found evidence of structures. They didn't find any little arrowheads. They found post holes in fireplaces that had been inside buildings dating back nearly 10,000 years right here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But not just in Baton Rouge, you have pyramids all over the world. We know pyramids are in northern, the northern, what they call Kemet or Egypt today, along the city near Giza, near Cairo, but there are pyramids all over the world. You have pyramids in the British Isles. You have pyramids in Scandinavia, Mounds in Scandinavia. You have pyramids in China and all over the world. So here you have evidence of pyramids in China. Here are pyramids in China. Some of the largest pyramids in the world were found in China, okay? All over the world. Here's the picture here. Wonderful. These are pyramids in Nubia, okay? You have a picture from along the Great Wall of China. You hear about the Great Wall of China, did you imagine that along the Great Wall of China you had pictures of what? Giant Moorish guards. Here we have a Moor from Tennessee, Brother Roy Wooten, future man. He went to China, was walking along the Great Wall of China, and he came across this statue. Who ever would have thought you'd have statues of Moors guarding the Great Wall of China? With all that beautiful color, like that red, green, gold, black. It's like, almost like a Rastafarian belt, huh? Mm-hmm. So you have evidence of mounds, there's Moors and mounds and pyramids all over the world. It doesn't stop.